Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and it's a good day today. I think might be a little stormy this afternoon.
Yeah,
but,
I'm a little worried about that.
But I think I'm going to go to the farmer's market today. They're finally open.
I want to go with you.
They're open today.
Yes, I want to go. That's on my list of things to do today.
Yeah, I need time to get my impatiens in the ground.
Yes, I'm
ready.
I'm
impatient to get my impatiens in the ground.
Yes, yeah.
My perennials are just phenomenal. Everything looks beautiful.
Oh, good.
I love everything.
I haven't had time to start on mine yet, but that's on my to-do list.
Yeah. So, after we go eat lunch, then I'll swing by and get you, and we'll go to the farmer's market.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I got the kids, so it'll be a little bit later. We'll have to play it by ear. Mm-hmm. Unless we take Jack and JoJo with us.
Oh, they can go.
Yeah, they'll love it.
They can go. So, I think it might rain. It looks like it's going to be a rainy forecast.
Like 4 o'clock, 1,000,000% chance.
Yeah, and that's exactly the time that our home track meet starts, only the second high school home track meet this year. My daughter was very much excited for it today, but they haven't canceled it yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be a no-go.
I think it's going to be a no-go. When you got like a 97, 96 something, chances are she's going to be a little rainy.
Maybe they'll reschedule it, but the thing about track meets is they don't really reschedule those like they do other.
Run out. When are you going to do them? They run out of time.
There's not. You just do. So
now, what does she run?
She runs track. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
She gets moved around a little bit, but she does the 200 and the 400. I think. I don't know. I'm only going to see her do it one time because everything else has been rained out. And I didn't drive. There was another meet in Carmire somewhere, and I couldn't make it.
Right. Well, both my boys, Mac ran a little bit. I don't know what he ran. I don't know. I'm not a big track person, but I'd go and watch him run. And then Connor was a football player, so Connor would do the shot put. And oh my gosh, and I'd walk back. And of course, when you get to the track, Mac was easy to get to because he's like, oh, there's Mac. Okay, running. Let's go right there. But with shot putters, they put them 5 miles away of everybody.
Yes.
I'd walk back there, watch him spin around, throw a big heavy ball, and
that was it.
Yay!
It's not the most exciting sport.
I don't like track at all.
I will say that is not a super exciting one unless it's neck and neck on a race and you're like, go, go, go. But then it's over.
Jim loves track and field.
Yeah.
I do not.
The only track meet I was at, he was there helping.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be there helping. Yeah. And what's bad today is I hate it for the kids because today's their senior recognition.
Oh.
Today's the senior day.
Oh, shoot. Well, then maybe they'll reschedule it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I don't know either.
But the school year is winding down.
Well, so after we eat lunch today, then we'll take the kids out to the.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll hear ya 1,000 times.
Okay.
You need to be prepared for it. But I do because I don't know. I'd like to. How long is it going to last if it does rain today?
I do not know.
Does anybody know? Ty, how long is it going to last today? Oh, so
we might do it. Maybe we could do it tomorrow.
We better not do it today because,
maybe we do it tomorrow.
By the time they wake up from their naps, it's going to be
It's saying till 6. The rain is on until 6.
And
of course, by the time this airs, this will all be over. It won't matter.
Well, yeah. Maybe we won't go today.
So
because
by
I'm
the
not gonna
time
have
this
to
airs, we will all have beautiful flowers and on our porch.
We will. Oh yeah. I love, everything just looks so good. I love it all.
Everything's so green this year. I know it does that every year, but it's really, really green this year.
Well, I wonder because it got hot there for a few days. One day I planted my garden and it was I got to go sit down. It was hot. It was 80. It's so crazy how we can go from 80 to.
I know. It frosted last night on our tomato plants. So night before last.
Night before. Yeah, it usually does. I think they're pretty hardy.
I don't know. That's my husband's territory, so I'm letting him deal with that.
What else do you plant? Does he plant?
We do green beans and tomatoes, and we always do a lot of yellow squash and jalapeno peppers because we are addicted to jalapeno poppers. We make those suckers like crazy all season long. It's always a sad day when we bring in the last of the jalapenos. And my favorite vegetable is yellow squash.
Is it?
Oh my gosh, I can eat it every day.
How do you cook it?
I cook it a whole bunch of ways. Now the best way is fry it. That's delicious.
Stir fry or bread
fry,
that baby.
Bread it up and fry it. That's how I remember eating it when I was a kid, and that is really good, but that's not really healthy. So no, most of the time my favorite way is just to slice it, and I put a little salt and pepper on it, and I bake it for 20 minutes on a sheet pan. and drizzle it with olive oil, and it is delicious. It's so good. That's my favorite way. And I can make, if it's a pretty big squash, I can make a meal off of just that.
Right.
And then sometimes I sprinkle Parmesan cheese all over it and bake
Yum.
it for 20 minutes, and that is also delicious. And
You can
healthy.
tell we're
And those
getting hungry.
And those are healthy ways to eat squash.
Right.
Now, you can do the same thing with zucchini. I do like a zucchini, but I prefer the yellow squash over zucchini. But that's a
I like the yellow
personal
squash
thing.
better because I think sometimes the zucchini's a little bit slimier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
I don't
that
like
kind of
anything.
depends on how you cook it.
Yeah.
And another way, a lot of times
And you cannot make zucchini taste like pizza. It does not happen.
No.
Everybody needs to calm down.
But you can
It doesn't
you can
work.
wrap it in foil and add a little bit of butter into the foil and put it on your grill when you do steaks or whatever on the grill. That's really good.
Is it good?
Just have your little side there ready. Now, I saw an interesting thing on Facebook the other day where you can take one zucchini, cut it in half, add it to your blender or food processor, put 2 eggs in it, and then they added a handful of like shredded cheese, and they blended that up until it was just like a soup, okay?
Yeah.
And then they rolled it out onto a baking sheet, and they baked it for 20 minutes at a low heat. I think it was like 300 or something. And then they had a wrap, and then they filled it with ham and turkey and lettuce and tomato and made this whole look like a Subway wrap.
Right.
But you didn't
was
have
totally
the bread.
low carb.
It was totally low carb, and you made it with zucchini, and it looked. I
bet that would be good.
I am going to try it. Actually, I'll report back because that's something I would totally eat. Because I don't do a lot of bread. I'm always trying to watch my carbs, but also gluten and I don't get along. So I try to do.
I'm not a big bread person
gluten.
anyway.
Yeah, Subway
I'm a
is
meat- I am a
like
total-
too much bread. It's just like all bread sometimes.
Yeah.
And
What was it? I got a sandwich and it was just like a lot of times like even if I just get like a cheeseburger from somewhere, I'll take that bottom. It's just too much.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't care for them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
the same way.
And some are good. Now a hot dog, there's nothing like a hot dog with a fresh bun.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I
That's
love
good.
hot dogs, but like hamburgers and stuff like you don't need all that top bottom stuff.
Right. No.
And then
I'm the same way.
some of the cold cut things are a little bit.
Yeah, but no, this whole wrap thing looked really good. So for those of you that are planting your gardens, like plant some zucchini and
Zucchini's
you
a
try
big one.
making a wrap.
A lot of people really plant a lot of zucchini.
Well, and the thing is, even if you don't plant zucchini, you probably know somebody that plants way too much zucchini. Don't we
I think
all?
Diane does zucchini. I'm a potato person. I love potatoes, and I plant. I have raised beds, and I almost 2 total raised beds. I do potatoes.
Oh, wow.
I plant new potatoes because I fry them suckers up. I bake them. And
Uh-huh.
I do onions. Because I like to cut up onions and keep them in my freezer. Cucumbers, I grow cucumbers like crazy, and tomatoes. And I did strawberries. I threw some strawberry plants in this year.
How'd that go?
I don't know. They're just now starting
to bloom or anything?
Yeah, they're starting to do their
Yeah.
thing. And one year I did broccoli and cauliflower. Planted one broccoli one. It was so much fun watching them grow.
Oh, yeah.
I had a nice little thing of broccoli. Of course, once you pick that, it's done.
Oh.
And then the cauliflower was the same way. Cutest little head of cauliflower.
Oh, cool.
So fresh, so good. Loved it. So then the next year I planted same thing because I thought it was fun watching.
Yeah.
Didn't get nothing off either one of
Isn't
them.
that weird how that happens sometimes?
How does that happen?
I don't know, but we didn't do it in time this year, but we want to next year plant lettuce. Have you done that?
I have not done lettuce.
I would kind of like to do that.
Yeah. I did carrots one year.
Yeah.
Grown carrots are awful.
Yes, they are. My dad planted
They're
carrots
awful.
years
It was
ago.
fun
and
watching them grow
I love
and pulling
carrots,
them.
but I don't like.
I love carrots too, but they were bitter.
Yeah.
And they were nice size. I mean, I grew nice size carrots. I'm thinking, okay, maybe these.
Well,
awful.
if you end up with anything out of your garden that you think is awful and you're not going to eat, my chickens would love it. They would. If you.
I will.
If you grow bitter carrots, we'll take them for the chickens.
Okay.
They'd love those.
Yeah, but like I said, I haven't planted everything. I haven't done cucumbers yet. They say wait on cucumbers.
Okay.
I'll probably plant them next week. We'll do that. And then I did my tomato plants. I love tomatoes. I do cherry tomatoes and big tomatoes. One year I did peppers. I did banana peppers because I like banana peppers.
Oh,
I like to cook with them a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may throw them out there.
Yeah, we've done different peppers, bell peppers, and the like the Anaheim. There was a salsa recipe I like that would call for the Anaheim or the poblano peppers. We've done those, but honestly, the jalapenos are our favorite.
I like poppers.
That is our favorite.
But I'm going to show you this ad today.
Okay, what do you got for us?
Well, it's you don't see very many hosiery ads with men.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Look at this picture.
Oh, my. He looks like a dancer, doesn't he? Like,
Yeah, look how tall and slim he is. Hole-proof.
Hosiery.
Of course, they only make hole-proof hosiery for men.
Yeah.
Hosiery.
Yeah.
It says
they're
here.
calling it hosiery, but really these are just socks.
They are.
They're just,
but they're see-through. But if you see.
Yeah, but that's what they wore for socks back then.
Yeah, I guess. So men did wear them. Hole-proof hosiery is exquisitely fine in texture and luxuriously brilliant in appearance. Its shapely elegance bespeaks good taste. But durability has not been sacrificed to beauty. See, it's just weird that you're talking about that with men. This combination of beauty and durability sells millions of pairs per year. Because of this huge production, Hole Proof costs no more than hose of certain quality and unknown value. Buy by name and thus be assured of the genuine. For men, women, and children in pure silk, silk-faced, or lusterized Lysol. If your dealer cannot supply you, write for illustrated booklet and price list. And this is its own Hole Proof Hosiery Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I feel like this is for the city men that had city jobs and they wore the suits and the ties and the... I don't feel like any of the farmers around here wore that kind of sock. But like if you watch... I wonder what the
Probably
year,
not.
I wonder what the... Did it say a year on that ad?
No, I'm trying to find it, but I don't know. 50 York, Sydney, Australia. Company is in Milwaukee. Hole Proof Hosiery Company of Canada Limited, London, Ontario. I'm not seeing any.
Well,
I would love to know what year it was.
Yeah.
I can't. I think I pulled this out from the 20s.
Oh, 20s? I started saying, I'm kind of feeling 1940s, but I don't know. One thing I think is interesting that's not in this picture are those... like they wore those belts around their upper calves to like hold up their socks like they did in White Christmas. That's not there.
That's not there.
So these hosiery socks stayed up by themselves, I guess. You didn't
No,
need
they're just like our women's knee highs.
garter. You didn't need the garter.
Oh, I had so many knee-high hose, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
I wore knee-highs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s.
Yep.
With my colored pumps.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I came across that. I'm pretty sure I got that from a 20s ad. I just Googled 1920s ad. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
You just don't see that.
Okay, so 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to jump back in talking about some of the hotels that were in our area.
All
so we'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we have a couple different hotels, right?
Yeah,
We're going to talk about.
I'm going to talk specifically about the Metropolitan Hotel in Louisville.
Okay.
And then I'm going to talk about Francis T. Banker, who had a boarding house in Clay City.
Okay.
And then I'm going to touch on some of the other ones, hotels around town too, because it's in the article that Rena had. What I find crazy is like Clay County, we had grand hotels.
We did. Some of the best in the state.
Absolutely. We were known. Clay County had some of the best, grand, huge, beautiful.
What do you think people traveled here for, though? Why were they here?
Well, we know
staying?
the Sailor Springs, the
Sailor
Glendale.
Springs, the Springs.
Yeah, I don't know why people would, but we did. We had these beautiful, beautiful hotels, and it's like when you look around, there aren't any anymore.
No.
Now we can't even hardly get a hotel.
No.
We have one in Flora. Well, we got a couple
We have
small
two in
ones that's
Flora.
still been around, but they're not. They're like the Psycho movie hotels. You know, the one. You know what I mean?
Watching our show.
You know, like where you
Well,
pull up and you go. I mean, it's like all
They're
the motels.
The motels.
The
where
motel.
what she means is that the door faces the outside. There's no inner hallway. So
Yeah.
that, you know,
That's
that's
the
the
difference
old
between your
style.
hotel and motel.
That's the difference between a hotel and a motel. But, you know, basically, even if you wanted to get a room at one of those places right now, you can't. All the rooms in Florida
They're
are
booked
full all the
all
time
the
because
time.
of the solar field workers that are here and the employees from the factories that fly in from other states and countries to help out for a short period of time. And they've also brought in a lot of workers that are from some kind of felony program where they work, they're paying, you know, they get them jobs or whatever, these people that just got out of prison. And there's a ton of those people in Flora right now living in the hotels.
Right there,
Then
yeah.
you can't get any rooms
Yeah, you
because
can't get a
they're
room.
here to work at the factories.
right.
So,
So yeah, I'm gonna first talk about the Metropolitan Hotel, and then hit on a couple other just small hotels that were in the area. Jog some memories here. But the Metropolitan Hotel in Louisville was a beautiful, beautiful building. Unfortunately, it is not there anymore.
yes, so sad.
It is
I wish
very
they could have
sad.
saved it.
I wish they could have saved it too. So anyway, let's just talk a little bit about the Metropolitan Hotel.
Okay.
From the mid-1800s to the mid-1900s, almost every town of any size had at least one fine hotel. In Clay County, we had several hotels,
Okay.
which, in their heyday, were plush, elegantly furnished establishments.
I bet they were beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Where the more refined citizens loved to meet for an evening of dining and socializing.
So a little bit different crowd than today.
So a little bit different crowd than today.
Okay.
Most travel was by train in the early years, and these trains brought travelers and especially salesmen to the area. In fact, many of the old hotels had what they called a sample room, where the salesman could leave samples of their wares for the merchants to look over at their leisure.
Oh, that's neat.
So that is a neat thing, because if you think
Yeah.
about the people that did travel through on the train,
yeah.
you know, and then
Yeah, a lot of traveling salesmen because that's how they had to sell stuff. You didn't have the internet or magazines or
and
catalogs.
I've got to find the information on the hotel, because right there where the depot is at, where the empty lot was at, that now is the liquor store right there, and right there in that area, we had a beautiful, the Star I want to call it the Star Hotel.
Yeah, I think
was
I've heard
right
of that.
in that. Not exactly right where that's at, but kind of like where the depot's at, and then kind of just cattywampus right where the road curves was a big hotel that people
Okay.
use, and we had a restaurant there too. So that
Yes,
was
I have a little
interesting.
information on that for a future show.
Yeah, I would like to really dive into that one and find information on that. But anyway, so these hotels were where people came, and I thought the interesting about the salesman, I didn't have any idea that there was actually a place called the sample room, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's neat. I like that.
Few of these hotels are in existence today. However, the Metropolitan Hotel, built in 1890s, stood through many years. Okay, it was a hotel, but then it ended up being bought by. There was also the Kincaids owned it,
Okay.
and they had a store in there.
Okay.
Opened to the public in 1895, and located
Wow.
on the corner of Chestnut and Church Streets in the center of the Louisville business district. It was widely patronized. So you got to take in where that's at. Like if you're coming into Louisville, How would you explain that? And you're coming into Louisville, and you come in right on the square.
You turn in on Chestnut
on
Street.
Chestnut,
And go
and then
down
like
to
you're
the
getting
square.
ready to go to the square, like the one way around the square. It was right there. I would call that the what?
The little
north.
pocket park is where it says. Where they've recently built a little
There's
park.
a little park right there. Is where the Metropolitan Hotel,
Yes.
where it was at. And it's funny when I show the picture here shortly, it seems like that area is not as large as what this hotel appears to be.
Well, I think it was tall. Maybe not
It
as
was
wide
3
as
stories.
it was tall.
It was 3 stories. Yeah. La 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 la. The 3-story brick structure with a basement was described as having wide corridors, offices, lobby, reading, writing, and sample rooms, as well as a spacious dining room with a seating capacity of around 100 guests.
Wow.
All on the main floor.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
A reading room and a writing room. You don't really think about writing rooms, but everyone wrote letters back home or their postcards or
Right.
whatever. That's where they would have went for that. So,
Yeah.
you didn't just send a text from your room.
Let's go ahead and show the picture of the Metropolitan Hotel. I love it.
Oh, yeah. That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I like the architecture at the top and the eaves and that one big, I don't know
Me too.
what they call that feature, but it looks nice.
Yeah, you can leave the picture up while I continue reading about it. Big double doors on the west side of the lobby led to the dining room. It was an inviting place with tables set with starched white tablecloths and napkins, polished silver, shiny glassware and china. The big kitchen was on the south end of it. For several years, the basement on Chestnut Street side housed a bakery run by Mr. Hoy.
I bet that smells good.
Right?
Yeah, run a bakery under where everybody's sleeping. I bet you know
Well,
what they
you
want to
won't-
eat when they wake up in the morning.
Right. Well, that you and I, who are not morning people, probably would have woke up for that.
Well, probably would have.
The hotel was heated throughout by steam, lighted by electricity, and contained hot and cold water bathing facilities.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty swank.
For 1895, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice place.
Uh-huh.
Tastefully decorated and comfortably furnished with table and cuisine fully in accordance with modern first-class hotels of its time. Wow. In all respects, apartments, furnishing, service, and attention, the Met, which was what they called it, was said to be one of the most modern hotels in central and southern Illinois. Okay, so we're talking, when did I say that this place, when did I say?
1895. is when it was
1895,
built.
okay. How much do you think it cost a day to to stay at the...
Oh, that's a great question. I'm going to guess 50 cents. I don't know. That sounds high.
$2.
Oh, really? Okay, $2.
$2 a day.
So it wasn't a cheap place.
No. The rates were $2 per day, and the proprietor in 1895 was J.R. McLean.
So, question: did the dining room come with the price? Did you get a meal there for free? Like if you paid?
Like
Just
your
curious.
continental breakfast?
Yeah,
I doubt it.
I don't
know.
know.
I bet you did not.
Okay.
Why I say that? What did they do at Nellie's?
Well, that's what I was thinking about. So I think
You
that
can take the picture down now, Ty.
I think there was
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm more thinking about the book, one of the books, The Little House on the Prairie, where they went on a train ride and they stayed somewhere and then they had a meal. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say not, because I would say they probably didn't, because I think the dining was open for the public to come in. It wasn't just for hotel guests. Because, like, you're not going to walk in off the street and say, hey, you got a continental breakfast, I'm going to pay for it.
Right.
In hotels like we do today.
Right.
I would imagine everything was
Priced. You're probably right.
a la carte.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to say?
Well, that means to go. Doesn't it?
No, a la carte means everything's separate.
Separate? Oh, I thought it meant to go.
No, a la carte. Like, if you go,
Okay.
like, there's nothing worse going into the restaurant we're used to here in America.
Yeah.
Buying a steak, and that comes with a salad and a baked potato. A la carte means you're going to pay for your steak, you're going to pay for your baked potato, you're going to pay for your salad.
I think, I have seen it. Like, I know what you mean. Yeah.
My favorite is a la mode. That means something sweet with ice cream.
Okay, yeah. I started to say, doesn't that mean with ice cream? Yeah, that's my favorite too.
I don't want a la carte, and I want it a la mode.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So yeah, I thought that was a beautiful.
Yes.
I'm going to talk a little bit
I
before
would love to see that in its heyday.
Oh, me too. Yeah, because the only pictures I can find are black and white. But let's talk a little bit about the old Major house.
Okay.
This one, we're going to go back to our man Samuel White.
Okay.
I don't have a picture of it. In 1855, which Flora was established in 54, the old Major house or hotel was built in Flora by Samuel White,
who was the founder of Flora. For those that haven't watched, you can go back. You can find him. He's on one of our very first episodes, like top 5, like somewhere between 1 and 5. He was in there.
What is the hotel? Because like where Phil Wiley has his realtor building,
yes,
that was a hotel and a dining room below. I've seen old pictures of it too.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I know it was a hotel at one time too. Anyway, we're talking about the old Major house or hotel built by Samuel White. It was first kept by Alex Dye, then Jim Murphy, next Press Turney, and in 1859 fell into the hands of the Majors family, who kept the hotel until 1872.
Wow. So the first 4 years, it had a lot of changes.
It had a lot of changes.
It must not have been a real money maker.
Well, it's weird because it was, it's called the Major house or hotel.
Yeah.
I'm not really
the Majors
sure.
didn't get it until 4 years later after it started. I bet they didn't call it the Major house at the beginning.
I bet they didn't either.
Yeah.
Maybe
they called it the White House.
That would have been sweet.
After Samuel White.
I would have.
There you go. History by Beth and Stacey.
There we go.
The first White House was in Flora.
I love it.
There we go.
Which it actually was, because it's right there on the court, right there.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of where Wiley's at in the old First National Bank. Right there was where Samuel White's house was at.
Yeah, little log cabin right there.
Little log cabin right there.
By the intersection.
I'm like slightly obsessed with Samuel White.
Yeah.
Every time I read about him or his family, I really am slightly obsessed with Samuel
he's
White.
a really cool character. And just
really
a short
cool.
recap on him is that White City, which is a neighborhood in Flora that's kind of out by Hella, that is named after Samuel White. Because someone recently asked that on Facebook, like, why would they name that White City? Almost like it was a racist thing. No. It had nothing to do with
Samuel
anything.
White.
Yeah, it was named after Samuel White.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Calm
Moving
down.
on.
Yeah.
Calm down.
In that year, the new Major house was built, which was a large 3-story brick structure containing 54 rooms and operated by Stephen J. Major and his sister, Mrs. M.A. Graham. In 1882, a 2-story addition was built at a cost of $22,000.
Wow, that was quite the addition.
That was.
$22,000 back then. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, honey. And speaking of money, we're going to take a commercial break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Stacey's filling us in on some hotels.
I am. We just got done talking about the beautiful Metropolitan Hotel that stood here in Louisville. that was apparently grand in its day. It was beautiful. We just ended up talking a little bit about the Major House there in Flora, originally started by Samuel White. Now there was also one. I like this one. There was one in Xenia.
Okay.
Okay, which Xenia, I have a book about Xenia. Xenia's got some really cool history,
Oh,
too.
yeah, definitely.
I seem to focus on more Flora, Clay City.
Yeah.
Those are my roots. We touch a little bit more on Louisville, but we need to start diving into Xenia. Xenia's got some really neat
definitely.
history. They had an opera house. They had hotels of their own, so I'd like to start diving into that a little bit more. The Moody House in Xenia, kept by Charles Moody, was the principal hotel in town during the 1870s and the 1880s.
Okay.
J.P. and J.G. Hill each were also engaged in the hotel business on a smaller scale. Seems as though this large hotel that was in Xenia may have been called the Wellington.
Okay. I like that name.
I like the Wellington, too.
Sounds very fancy.
Yes, it does.
I'll be staying at the Wellington tonight, darling, if you need me.
Yeah, it seems as though it had that seems like a pretty prestigious name. And I feel like when you drive around Xenia, Xenia still has some of their old buildings that I need to pay more attention to. But like some of those buildings downtown Xenia still have like what's on top of them. And we need to. We may.
What do you mean? What's on top of them?
Like I feel like I've seen.
Oh, at the top, like engraving, like
at
one
the
building.
engraving,
Yeah, that say something.
Yeah.
Coggin
the
building.
Coggin build. Yeah, that
Yeah.
type of thing. Which I think we may have to.
Yeah.
We need another road trip. Of course, we've all heard about my favorite place in Clay County, Sailor Springs, with the Glendale Hotel. We did an entire episode on it.
Absolutely.
Because it was fascinating. Oh, my gosh, Beth.
What?
Okay, so Jim was over in Sailor Springs. There's an elderly gentleman there. And Jim goes and mows his yard for him.
Okay.
Well, as Jim was out there, this guy recognized him that lives there, and I know who it is because I'm going to call him. Because there are only a handful of people that have like original skeleton keys to the doors.
Yeah.
To the like the
He
rooms
has
to
them?
This guy was like, "Oh, Jim, I watch your wife's show, and she loves Sailor Springs. I got to show you something." He went back in and came back, and has an original key.
That
so
was
cool.
Found. Where was it found?
Where it burnt down in that area.
Oh.
He ended up finding it. I know. I'm almost positive.
Man, wouldn't you like to search that with a
Yeah,
metal
I
detector?
definitely would. Yeah, and I'm almost. Yeah, and I was like, Jim. And he said, "Oh, it was in mint condition." I said, "Does he want to sell it?" He's like, "I didn't think about that. I figured you'd want it." I'm like, "If you have to sell your plasma, get it done, buddy. Give me that key." I want that key, so I know who it is. So I may be calling and
she may be reaching out to you and being like, "How much will you take for that key?"
How much do you want for that key? Because I would love to have it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jim sent me a picture. I'll show you a picture of it. And anyway. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna skip on because
moving on.
I get to talking about Sailor Springs and it's all over.
Yeah, it's all over.
I'm still trying to win the lottery so I can buy Sailor Springs. Okay. In the mid-1800s, Dr. D.K. Green of Louisville kept a very respectful hotel and used part of the building for a general store, including a drugstore.
Okay. On the square? Okay. Green?
Yes. Dr. Green.
Dr. Green.
Haven't we heard of him?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like we have, but I don't know. After a while, everything runs in.
Yeah, I know. Dr. Green.
The building sold to James David, whose widow later married Judge S.L. Hopkins, thus giving us what was known as the Hopkins Hotel.
Okay.
So that's another hotel in Louisville.
Okay,
then we have another one in Louisville. Another early hotel in Louisville.
Wow, they had a lot of travelers.
Right, was the Griffin Hotel, built by carpenter Stephen R. Jones. In addition to the hotel, he was also said to have built the Excelsior Flooring Mill and some of the best dwellings in Louisville.
Cool.
I mean, are you shocked by all these hotels?
Yeah, I mean, I thought there would be several in Clay County, but I didn't expect there to be like so many in Louisville.
Right. Yeah, there's a bunch in Louisville. Flora had many other early hotels also, but the only ones which come to mind are the Midland Trail Hotel and the Star Hotel.
Yeah, what'd she say about that?
Both which have been torn down. Get this. So these were right across the street from each other. The Midland Trail was located close to where Huck's is.
Okay.
So kind of like in that area right there.
Midland Hotel.
Yes.
Think about that the next time you go to get your big swig.
That's right. You're driving through a hotel.
Yeah.
And now, let's see, blah, 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 where the Huck store stands and was the sleeping place for many railroaders over the years.
Oh, yeah, I bet. With the railroad, I could see having a lot of hotels. And, you know, there was a north-south track that went. Did it go through Louisville? Is that why they needed so many hotels?
I would think so.
Can't really place
remember
where the track went after it left Flora, but
I don't know either. Now I'm thinking about it. It would have almost had. Yeah, think about that it would almost have to because you know you got the track. Well, Louisville's north of Clay City though. Clay City's just literally right east of Flora. Where Louisville,
that north-south track had to have gone that right near Louisville, I would think.
Because you remember, like whenever we used to drive right there across, like where we're talking about Huck's is at, where the depot's at.
Yeah,
that little tiny track that went all the way down. That actually went down to the what's the place where the reservoir there in Flora.
But it also went north.
It also
far
went
too,
north.
like,
It would have had to have gone through Louisville.
Yeah, because you cross it where the hump was, like near Donna Jo Anderson's road.
Yeah.
Yeah, back there. It goes all the way north.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why Louisville needed so many hotels. Okay, keep going.
Keep going. Okay. With the advent of motorized vehicles, paved roads, and the increased population, community growth expanded, thus leading to the influx of motels.
Okay.
This is where the motels come in. These motels brought about the decline of many of the fine hotels in the small to mid-sized towns. So now, basically, what I hear this article saying to me is that you had your finer hotels, your high society used your finer hotels. Then you would have had more. Now you got more people coming into town, probably more your middle class, your lower class, who could not afford the $2 a day to stay there and the fine dining, and that's when your motels popped up.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Now, some people won't stay in a motel. Whenever we would go to Florida, the hotel we stayed at all the time was the Desert Palms, and it was the motel. I love the old motels that's been around since the
I've
50s.
stayed in good ones and I've stayed in bad ones.
Yeah.
So I've stayed in good hotels and bad hotels. Now, my husband calls every hotel a motel. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode. But
What, how your husband drives you nuts?
no, well, no. Yeah, probably could be. But no, just the whole motel hotel debate, but the difference. But anyway, I've stayed in some really cool motels though, like that one in Vermont. I've talked about it before, but it was a motel but it has this Hallmark movie feel to it. It's artsy, it's spotless. It's like you walk back in time. It's darling.
Oh.
It's a motel, you know.
Yeah, the one with Panama City Beach still has some of the original motels that were there. Unfortunately, the Desert Palm got taken out by Hugo, but I loved it. Now, I never did. We always stayed like on the interior. It was like kind of like a U shape. So like people just pull up here, and then there were always rooms right here. But like we always stayed. My parents knew the people personally, so we stayed in the same room we stayed at for years. And it was like right there. You walked right out, and when you walked right out, you were on the sand. You walked out the other door, and you were right by the pool.
Oh,
I love a motel.
Yeah,
I don't
good
mind
motels.
a good motel. I like a good motel. Jim and I stayed in one when we went to North Carolina. I wanted to go to the Biltmore, and it was the neatest thing. We stayed in this little town. I can't remember what the name of it was, and I picked this little motel. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen, because like you literally, when you pulled up to this motel, and it was just one little level, and then like you pulled through like their like little drive-through area, and it was like almost looked like you were looking through to a bank teller because the little man was sitting there with his TV dinner watching it was like they lived right there.
Yeah.
But there was a big window right there that they kept open when people would drive through.
Yeah.
And the bell would go ding, ding, and they would get up, and this lady with this ginormous beehive.
Oh, my gosh.
Got up, and she was like, she came in, and, we're like, and I'm like looking into there, and you can see them watching Wheel of Fortune. Their backs were to us. And then they went ding, ding, and she got up, and she pushed away. She walked over, and she was like, hello. Hi. I'm like, hello, Jim and Stacey Early Wine. Oh, we're so glad you're here. You coming to see the Biltmore. It was 4th of July weekend.
Oh, wow.
She's like, you're out of towner, so I'm going to tell you about everything that we have going on downtown, our little festival. We have corn dogs, and we have fireworks. And,
That's awesome.
Anyway, and then, like, she literally took our keys, boo, 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 and she did, like, the old teller did. That door came out. I took my skeleton key.
Oh, my gosh.
And then we were like that, and she's like, if you need anything, there's a buzzer in your room. Just let me know.
Wow,
and
that's
this was
cool.
The boys were in junior high, so this was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Cutest little, and he just never. But they were sitting there both in there watching Wheel of Fortune, eating with their TV trays.
Oh, that's neat. I love places like that.
But it had a little restaurant attached to it, so we ate there. And it was. People talk about our small town all the time. Flora this, Flora that, Flora's this, Flora that. They're all the same.
Yeah.
People are people, whether you're in a small town or you're in a big city. And I'm going to tell you what, when we were walking around that town with their 4th of July festival, everybody was like,
yeah, who's the stranger?
Of course, like me, I'm like, hi, how are you? Happy 4th. Hi, how are you? And they're like,
you outsider.
Everywhere we outsider, absolutely.
But I bet they were glad for your dollar that you were spending.
I bet they were. But it was just it was just so it was so interesting. I love staying at that.
Yeah.
I think, and then when I was talking about my Boston trip, my mom and Buffy and my Aunt Barb and I, we ended up staying in, like what you're talking, we came on the Cape Cod. Pull in here. It says vacant, literally. Vacancy on the sign. We pulled into that motel, and we stayed there, and it was cute out the back. We had this beautiful little deck overlooking the beautiful trees that had changed.
Yeah, because some of these motels have really good locations because they've been there forever. So they're really on the prime real estate.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I love it.
That's how I felt about that one in Vermont.
Yeah.
Prime spot.
We need to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to talk about Francis T. Banker, a Clay City businessman who owned the Banker House that was a boarding house. We'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We are having a great time here on set.
We are, because I'm being really techie here, because I want you to see.
Stacey found a great picture, so we're going to send that over to the computer.
Yes, so we were talking about.
We're talking about old hotels in Clay County and the differences between motels and hotels. And we've talked about several hotels that were in Louisville, some in Flora. And next we're going to talk about a boarding house, which people don't think about boarding houses so much, but they were actually where people stayed before there were hotels.
I can't. Okay, I'm going to throw you under the bus
Uh-huh.
because think of an old movie that we both love,
Clue.
black and white.
Okay.
Doesn't think that his life was worth anything.
Uh-huh. And his mother ran a boarding house. And it is played by Jimmy Stewart, and the movie is It's a Wonderful Life. Yes! Yes, she did. She did run a boarding house back when, if he had never been born.
If he had never been born.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was unhappy. Do you think all boarding home people were unhappy? I don't think so.
I don't think so, because this Francis T.
so.
Banker, that's the picture that I sent.
Yes.
He was a businessman. We're going to talk a little bit about the banker.
Okay.
Because I got a picture. I've been sitting. It's so funny. We do all this research, and it's just like, man, I've been sitting on that picture. And then it's like, God's like, hey, Stacey, go here. And you look, I was like, I found Francis Banker. Banker, I wonder if he owned the Banker home. Heck yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay,
Heck yeah, I
tell
did.
us.
Let's do.
Okay.
Francis T. Banker, bank as in bank money, banker,
Okay.
was born in Indiana, May 7th, 1856.
Okay.
He came to Clay County in 1859.
Okay.
So he was young when he came.
He was 3.
He was 3.
3-year-old little boy shows up.
The family lived in Clay City, okay? Then moved to Ziff Township in Wayne County.
Okay.
Ziff is one of those now, if you go down the Big 4 on Clay City, you go through Ziff, you run right. It used to be a little booming place of its own.
Yes. Yeah. It's had a school building there.
A school building there. Which that school building may still be there.
I might be part of it. I'm not sure if it's still there or not. School building, and then there was the gas plant next to the school building that was owned by Equinox Oil Company.
Yeah.
That's where Jason worked when we were first married.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
And his father owned a store and was the postmaster.
Okay.
There in Ziff.
Okay.
Francis was a carpenter for many, many years. So he lives in Ziffs, and he's a carpenter. They're farmers. They're store owners. You know, the typical how everybody did come to this.
Right.
Yeah. In 1912, he purchased the Brock House in Clay City, and he moved his family and opened up a boarding house and hotel accommodations.
Wow. So they're like moving from the little town of Ziff to the big city of Clay City.
That's right.
Gonna
And they
open
buy
a
this
hotel.
house. Probably the people that lived here, his last name was Brock.
Uh-huh.
And he bought this house, but he turns it into a boarding house and hotel. So I wonder how that ended up.
So maybe a boarding house was for long-term guests, while the hotel was
just for short-term. He ran that for 17 years. He changed the name to the Banker House. Let's show a picture of Francis Banker.
Okay.
Oh, I did it right. This is Francis T. Banker.
Okay. I like him.
I like him,
He
too.
reminds me a little bit of Walt Disney.
That's who that is. That's exactly what who he looks like.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
I like him with his 3-piece suit and his little bow tie.
Yeah, that's Francis T. Banker.
Okay.
He is a businessman, very nice man from Clay City.
Okay.
Okay?
Good deal.
So, he changed the name to the Banker House. He improved, remodeled, and was known as one of the most kept places in Clay City. So the Banker House was also known as a very well kept boarding home / hotel. His wife, whose name, he had 2 wives. His first wife died pretty young. So his wife, when he's doing this, her name was Nancy Jane, and Nancy was a cook. So his wife insisted on making homemade meals prepared for every guest.
Wow, what a woman. That's a lot of work.
Whether they were short-term or long-term guests.
Good for her.
Yeah, she kept that place, said it was like a prime place. I have an actual picture of the Banker House.
Okay.
That's Miss.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
Have you not?
Yeah, I've seen that picture before. Now, yeah, that's pretty cool. Where do you think that this was?
Well, I'm having a hard time finding where it was located at.
I've talked about this photo with someone before, and they mentioned that they think the woman in the apron on the right was just a hired hand.
Was a hired hand.
And then the two owners there.
On the
and
left.
Then the woman,
that would be Nancy Jane and Frances.
And the woman in the dark they thought might have been a maid, too.
I believe they were. And who's standing at the corner of the back? Is that somebody standing there?
Or is it a stairway, or is it a Civil War ghost?
Ooh, let's go with Civil War
I'm going to go with Civil War ghost for
like
300, Alex.
That's right.
Yeah, I think
but look how the building's shaped. Look how it's like slanted toward the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mr. Banker had a workshop with many power tools, band and scroll saws, where he repaired furniture and built cabinets.
Oh, man, they just did it all, didn't they?
They did it all.
Everybody had to back then.
There
was not Amazon.
Yeah. Mr. Banker had no enemies. His character was of a fine gentleman. He was loved by all. He was an excellent husband and father.
Aww.
He had 6 children. His greatest pleasure in life was to have his 6 children visit and bring his grandchildren along.
Aww.
Mr. Banker was a member of the Clay City Booster Club. He died May 16th, 1940.
Okay.
He was 84 years old. He is buried in the Wells Cemetery in Wayne County.
Oh, down by Sif, I think.
Yeah, so he
probably.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. His first wife was Amanda Wells Banker, and they were married in 1883. She died in 91.
Oh, okay.
So she died before the hotel happened. His second wife was Nancy Jane Tetrick Banker, and they were married in 1893. So after his first wife died, he married 2 years later, and Nancy died the year before he did in 1939.
Oh, they both lived long, good lives.
So they lived long, good lives.
Yeah, if anyone out there has information on exactly where the Banker house was located, that would be fun to add in.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And to drive by.
Yeah, because was in Clay City a lot growing up. Like I said, my grandma.
And you don't remember it?
I don't remember, and I've always, even as a child, my mom drugged me to. That's where my love of antiques and love of old things. My mom drugged me to auctions, and my mother was a bookkeeper, and she worked for Roger Edmondson in Flora. And then when my grandfather Roy Franklin started Franklin Acidizing Company, and then later on went to do Watchet Oil Corporation. She was his bookkeeper, but my mother would have been a realtor. Real estate.
She would have been good at
that. So that was my love. I think that's where my love of houses and real estate and antiques came from, because she would drag me to, lots of different places.
Yeah.
But I don't recognize that house at all.
I bet there's a regular house there, and I bet the people that live in it may not have any idea of what it used to be.
Right.
That'd be cool to go knock on their door and be like, by the way,
we're here. And we need to make some more fun stops. We haven't done that for a while. Just knocked on anybody's house.
The door knocking season has begun. It is nice out. It's not freezing cold. We might be
knock, knock,
on
knock.
your door.
Let us in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought that I came across that picture of the Metropolitan Hotel, and then I sat on it for a long time. Like, I don't really know much. And then we went to the Genealogical Society and found that article more about it. Because I reached out to Nancy Byers, my Louisville contact, and she was like, I really don't have a lot. She thought that she had some stuff on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot.
Love it. But that's it.
Okay. Do we?
I don't even know what time we started this show.
I'm not sure how many minutes we have left, but
how many minutes do we have left of the show?
We've got about 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay,
we got time.
We're good. Okay, I thought we were at the end, and I felt like we hadn't covered it all.
Well, I couldn't remember because we're like losing our mind here.
I know. So one thing I was going to say about that boarding house in Clay City is that for some reason I do feel like I wish I could remember who I was discussing that picture with, but I think that they might have told me it had been near the tracks, like right down there near the where the depot was.
Right.
But I can't.
Oh, I bet you're right. That would make sense.
That would make sense, but I can't place that conversation, nor can I place exactly what was said, but I remember looking through that book, and it might have been Don Thomas. Maybe I was talking with. He may know. I can reach out to him later.
Yeah, because there's because the depot right there at Clay City's. What's that? Because that one bit where Dusty started, Mitchell Pump Supply. Dusty had his right there on that. What building was that? Do you know? That little, it's still there. And then, of course, on
their depot was very small and white. I remember
I bet that was the old depot. I bet that building's still there. Yeah, it's right there on that would be the southeast corner. That building's still there. I bet that's because then on the north side of the east is a big 2-story home that I'm dying to find out who lives there. I'd like to go knocking on their door. And then the northwest side was where M&M Pump is at.
Yes.
And then that southwest side, there's just gravel right there where it looks like there would have been something right there.
I'm sure there
I bet
was.
that's where that house was at. Because there's
I
a
think
big
it was
empty lot
definitely
right
in that
there.
area.
I bet it was in that corner.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't you wish you could just time travel back to see it how it all was? Then
I would have to
that
pick
would be
several different time traveling places.
Yeah.
If I could time travel back, I'd go back to where I would go back to the Glendale and Sailor Springs.
Oh, I know you would. Yeah.
That's where I would go back to.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Where would you go back? Laura Ingalls?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I would go visit her, with her for a little bit. I don't want to stay. That's the thing, though. I like to talk about this and think about the past and dream about the past, but things were not perfect in the past either.
No.
And
I like my drive-through.
and I like being able to vote, and I like antibiotics,
Yes.
and I like ibuprofen in my purse, and I like my red lipstick at Walmart. So I'm not cut out to live in the past. There's a reason that God put me where He did, but
Right.
I would love the opportunity to go back and just visit, just for a few hours.
Oh yeah,
I just
have a
pop in with
conversation.
Laura and Mary and Carrie and Ma and Pa and have a little conversation.
I would
and
travel back
throw-
into time, and I would steal one of those keys from the Glendale Hotel. First, I'd go through screaming, "Fire! Fire! Pay attention! Get your buckets! The mob's coming to burn you down!"
No kidding.
And they not only had the Glendale, Sailor Springs had 2 other hotels there too, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so you know where we're going. We're
Okay.
going to travel back in time.
Okay, what do you got for us?
Okay, let's see. What do I want to do here? This is by an unknown.
Okay.
Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Have you heard of that? Do you know?
That's one that's like on a meme or something people share on Facebook sometimes. It's good. I do believe that. Like, it's a good one.
Here's a quick one from Robert Allen. There is no failure, only feedback.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, please,
Yeah.
don't we know it? In
Yeah.
the world of social media,
Yeah, everybody's got feedback for sure.
everybody's got feedback, and half-time they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, social media is not the best thing that has happened to our society, in my
No,
opinion.
it's
In my
such an
opinion,
ugly-
It's good for passing on prayer requests, and other than that,
For the most part, it's destructive.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I like social media. I can keep up with. I have relatives in Indiana, and Buffy's up in Chicago.
Yes, that's a great
And
thing.
I can keep track of my friends,
Yes.
that see their kids grow up. That's the only thing good that comes out of social media.
I know.
Otherwise, I think it is of the devil.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like it
the
when people.
more I learn about people, the less I tend to like them, and I used to not be like that, so I don't want to dislike anybody.
Right.
But sometimes people are so hateful on there that you're like, oh, I don't really want to get
Keyboard
too
warriors.
close to them. They
And
seem pretty hateful.
It's like boy, and they talk about things that they just don't have any idea on.
Everybody knows everything.
Everybody's got an opinion.
Yes, they do. There's an old saying about that, but we won't
We
repeat
can't.
that. You may know what we're talking about, but anyway, can we get off topic or what?
Right? Yep. Well,
So-
I have somebody bought me a sign. Gosh, and it's about my opinion. I can't remember. I can't remember. I'll take a picture of it. People buy me so many signs that are funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, basically, they're all self-centered, which I've got a little narcissistic tendencies in me.
Oh, not really. Not really. Not when you really know her. She doesn't.
Shoot.
So,
Hey, I have a
anyway.
reputation to uphold.
Oh, okay. Then yes, she is.
All right. This is it, Beth. We're done.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a super fun show, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.